What's going on, everybody? It is the Rum Champion, and today we're tackling the topic of what makes rum the world's most diverse spirit. Before we get into it, though, if you are picking up what I am putting down, I would really appreciate you subscribing to the page, liking this video, and hey, you know what? Maybe even sharing with a friend or two who's a little rum curious. Any hoodles, rum is the world's most diverse spirit. It's distilled in 80 plus countries around the world on every continent minus Antarctica because and that's actually what these 6 bottles here represent. So here we have South Africa, Africa, Cambodia, Asia, Australia, Italy, Europe, America, North America, and Guyana, South America. Well, big whoop, rum champ. So what? They're on all these different continents and different places. That doesn't mean they're so diverse. Well, actually it does, because if you had side-by-sides of all of these, not one of these tastes like the other. So yes, that is one piece of the diversity factor. Rum is a byproduct of the sugarcane plant. Sugarcane is a grass. So the first thing that you can do is you can actually cut that stalk down, crush the stalk to get sugarcane juice. You can ferment that, distill that, boom, you've got rum agricole, you've got cachaça, aguardiente, cañazo, pitorro, and a number of other names for it. Then you can actually take that cane syrup, you can condense that and boil that down to make sugarcane syrup or honey. Sugarcane syrup, sugarcane honey, tomato means the same thing. Ferment that, distill that, boom, you've got Clorène out of Haiti. During the sugarcane refining process, you actually extract molasses. Molasses is that really thick, black, syrupy, goopy stuff. Molasses accounts for 95% of the rum production in the world. So you have a few different starters. Oh, and actually, so sorry, I forgot. There's also things like sugarcane syrup where you actually let the sugarcane juice start to vinegarize, and that's something that Hampton does, Hampton Estate down in Jamaica. So we have all these different regions, we have the different starting points for all of these rums. Then the first thing that you look at is fermentation. Is it a short fermentation? Is it 2 or 3 days? Is it 2 or 3 weeks? Are you creating a lot of bacteria to create esters and really funky rums? That's a big piece. Are you using proprietary yeast like a Bacardi? Are you using wild yeast like Hampton, for example? All of that is going to vastly impact the starting point of your rum. Distillation. There's a few different ways that you can distill. You have column stills and pot stills. And there within, you have a million different kinds of stills. You have single pots, double retort pots, hybrid stills, Seville column stills, single column stills, and everything else in between. And sometimes you can actually do things like what Chairman's Reserve does. Chairman's Reserve will take a column-stilled rum and a pot-stilled rum, distill them, put them into separate barrels for aging, and then blend that into different barrels for additional aging. So that is also going to impact what the flavor tastes like. Also, if you're using mostly pot in a little column, or if it's just 100% pot still, like Jamaican funky lovely rums like Worthy Park, that's going to be completely different than a continuous column-stilled rum out of Trinidad, like Angostura, if you will. And we haven't even gotten into cask-strength rums because looking at the diversity, even just in Trinidad, for example, cask-strength rums from Trinidad Distillers Limited, or TDL, is completely different than the rums that Angostura is bringing to market. So we have the different starting points. There are multiple. The different kinds of fermentation. That's also a factor. The distillation, also a factor. And then, last but certainly not least, we have the terroir, the French very fancy word for climate. How is the climate impacting your barrel aging? Oh, wait a minute. I leapfrogged over the fact that there's different kinds of barrels as well. American oak is much different than French oak. Is that rum 100% ex-bourbon? Did it start in ex-bourbon and go to a Calvados cask? Did it start in a cognac cask and then go into an ex-bourbon cask, for example? The possibilities are limitless, and rum really is the Wild West. The only thing that we can agree on globally is that rum is a byproduct of the sugarcane plant. Other than that, there's very few rules that apply. So the creativity is there, and rum is so delicious and amazing, and there is so much more to this category than Captain Morgan or Sailor Jerry. Going back to the terroir, after my little rant about barrels. Are you distilling or aging at elevation, sea level, somewhere in between? Are you starting your aging process in the tropics? So, for example, is it starting in Panama and then going to Scotland or somewhere in continental Europe for additional aging? That's also going to have a different impact on what the overall liquid tastes like. Trying to explain rum and why it's so diverse is like trying to explain the game of baseball in less than 90 seconds. You really can't do it. So please do take the category seriously, because there are so much that you are missing out on. I've had 1,120 rums from 68 countries. That rum is the world's most diverse category. And the more I learn, the less I know. Hope this helps you guys, guide you in the right direction. Next time, we're going to be focusing on a few different rums that you can start with in your collection. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.